Hello, welcome. This is all about This is the Footy Mad podcast. You're welcome. I got the titles wrong there for a little bit. The time of recording this is Man United 2, Everton 1. Everton just have the goal corner. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You're welcome. Everton with a cross. It comes into the box. Ooh. Give me a little bit of a commentary there. And so, yeah, you're welcome. Pretty Mad Podcast, you're welcome. If you're new, this is episode. I don't know what episode this is, but you see the episode in the tomb, in the what do you call it? In the headings, in the tomb, is it thumbnail or whatever they call it. I don't know, man. Anyway, let's get into it quickly. It's all about we're gonna be looking back on the World Cup quickly. Talking about Premier League is back. All the games have been played so far. Talking about Pele and Vialli that we lost during these times. We're gonna be talking about that as well. So I think best thing is just to talk about that before we go on. Yeah, Pele. Yeah, I grew up watching Pele. To be honest, I didn't even see. I think. No, I think it was way before my time. And yeah, I heard a lot about him. And I read a lot about him as well. In terms of seeing him play, watch a lot of videos. And yeah, saw him play. I think the first time I saw it was the 1970 World Cup. First that team of Pele, what's his name? Pele, I think it was Jorginho. Is it Jorginho? I can't remember Jorginho then. Um, uh, uh, they had Jairzinho. Is it just? I think he's Jairzinho. And they've got who else in that team? That great team. I think it was Tostao in midfield. I think it was Greenshaw as well. A couple of big players in there, and that was the first time I saw. To be honest, that was the first time I saw a living color Pele play. And I remember that. I think it was a 4-1 victory against. I think it was Italy. Was it Italy or was it? I think it was Italy or some. Was it? I think it was Italy or Germany where he laid the ball back for somebody to to score the final goal in the 1970 World Cup. And I think they won it there as well. They won it then as well. And yeah, he was just, it was just a really, really brilliant man. Good. There was a lot of stories about him. And, I think he played the first World Cup when he was 19. He was being kicked left, right, and center. I think they said it was because of him that they had to introduce yellow cards and red card. I've not yet confirmed that. But yeah, it was really, really uh it was really, really, what do you call it? It was really, really sad to see him go. He was 80, I think he was 80 years old or 80 something. He lived a good life. He was somebody that everybody was watching, and he played. And he played a lot of games for Brazil as well. And yeah, he played a lot of games for Brazil. He played till he was he played it was I think he played a lot of games for Brazil. He went over to what do you call it? He went over to play in America as well. And I think he retired because of injuries or something. I'm not sure if he played in Sweden as well. I'm not sure, but he went over to America to play. And yeah, he was a really, really top player, top guy. Most of the skills you see people doing now, I think Pele did it for us, to be honest. And yeah, it was, may his soul rest in peace. And we'll think it's somebody that we will never forget, especially if you are into football. It's a name that will be in the minds of people for for as long as they live, as me as well, for as long as I live. I think I always remember Pele, and even kids that were even born now, they grew up watching Pele as well. They grew up with their parents talking about Pele as well. So yeah, it's yeah, it was sad to see him go. And yeah, so rest in peace. Another person that we've lost as well in the world of football. There's been a couple, but these are there's been a couple that we lost in 2022. But I made all their souls rest in peace. Even the ones I don't remember. But another person is just recently at the time of doing this video, doing this podcast was Gianluca Vialli. We lost him just hours before this video, and it was really really sad. I actually grew up watching Vialli. I remember he played for Chelsea, played for Italy as well. It was a very good player. Ball-headed, strong, physical, holds the ball up, scores beautiful goals, smashes the ball in from everywhere. And yeah, he was one of one of the players that you always remember. When you talk about the Italian team, you always remember him. Yeah, he will never be. I don't think people will forget him really. Really, to be honest, I think if you grew up in the 90s or 2000, early 2000, I remember Vialli. And yeah, he died at a very young age, 58 years old. And may his soul rest in peace, and condolences to his family as well. So yeah, let's get on with the podcast. If you're new to the channel, Footy Podcast, this is the what do you call it? This is the what do you call it? This is the Footy Podcast. I think this is the I don't know. This is the fifth episode that we're doing. So let's look at the World Cup. We'll be looking at the World Cup. Um, and yeah, let's get a quick flashback to the World Cup. It was a good World Cup. I think one of the best I've seen so far in terms of upsets and teams losing games. I think the team of the World Cup was Morocco. That's for sure. They went all the way. They knocked out, took some big scalp on their way to the semi-finals. You know, they beat Belgium. I think they beat Belgium. No, Tunisia beat Belgium. Morocco beat Portugal. That's one of the biggest scalp that they took on their way to the final, to the semi-finals. And it was refreshing for that World Cup. There was a lot of stories before the World Cup about this is it's not going to be successful. All this noise about the World Cup. But it turned out to be one of the best World Cups I've seen in my lifetime. Anyway, it was really really good. There was a lot of good football. There was a lot of entertaining games, a lot of great goals as well. And we get to see that the gap between all these small nations is not that much. I think South Korea beat Germany as well. It's something that is nice to see. It's nice to see. I think it was Japan that beat Germany. I think it was Japan, yeah. And yeah, it was very good. It was a very good World Cup, very entertaining. There was a lot of a lot of uh, good atmosphere. The fans were, crazy. The stadium was filled in most of the games, especially when the Arab nations were playing. And yeah, it was good. It was good. England got to the quarterfinals. I was thinking they were going to go further than that. To be honest, England got to the quarterfinals. They ended up losing to France in the game, which they played really well in that game. They could have done a lot. Could have done a lot better as well. And yeah, it was a case of Messi was going to win that World Cup. And yeah, Messi really, really, got all the way through to after losing their first game, they managed to negotiate, and that's what it's all about. After losing their first game, we got people talking about they're not gonna make it to the to the next round. And yeah, it was a case of, they really actually really played really well. Played you know Play their way through the group stages, go into the next round, and they just managed to get to the final. They played. I remember the game against the Netherlands in the, I think that was the quarterfinals or the semis, and they came back. They came back to win in extra time after it was, I think it was 2-2 in full time. And yeah, it was just, you can just see that the World Cup was written down for Messi, to be honest. You can see that it was written in the stars that, Messi, that they were going to win, that they were going to win the competition. They were going to win the competition. So uh, it was. Yeah, like I said, it was written in the stars, and Messi got to the final. The one on penalties, I think, the penalties were just superb from Argentina in that final. I think it was a great final as well. I think one of the best finals as well. When was the last time we saw a final like that? Normally, finals are very, very boring, very, very boring. I find that, especially World Cup finals. So yeah, it was. It was good. It was good to see a final. Like really, really enjoyed. I think it was 2-2 in the end, and uh, um, um, uh, Argentina won it through penalty shootout. So yeah, and that was the World Cup. It was Messi's World Cup, and I think everybody was. Most people wanted Messi to win it because he's not won the World Cup. Yeah, he's got been close once, and yeah, it was good for him to win it. So yeah, and that was the World Cup. And then after the World Cup, it was it's never been seen before. Premier League had to start. I think it was a week before the after the World Cup, and the Premier League kicked off again. And players had to come back, get straight back into it. Tottenham, my team, played their first game against Brentford in the Premier League. It was 2-2. It was good. It was just now 2 goals down. The same old Tottenham. What they normally do, they've been doing it for quite a while now. I don't understand, and it's something that we I'm gonna have to look at and talk about. I'm gonna look at it in details. I'll be doing another video for that, just to understand why is Tottenham always going to go down, and just to understand, how they can change that, change that mentality. I don't think it's a change of. I don't think it's a case of. I think they just find themselves in that kind of situation because football is all about confidence. If you've been doing something and you keep doing it, it's gonna keep happening, and it just keeps going on and on, and it's something that they have to try and get over. And yeah, it is very, very, what do you call it? It's very, very, it's very, very sad. It's very sad that they play. Yeah, they had to second half in that game as well. They had to fight and get back, get 2-2, and they almost they could have gone on to win it, but and that was the first game back. Arsenal played. Arsenal continued where they left off. I can't remember who they beat, and then teams are trying to adjust back into the World Cup. Some teams picked up where they left off. Arsenal, Tottenham, same old Tottenham. City, I think City dropped points as well. I can't remember they dropped points against. I can't remember who they dropped points against as well. But yeah, the Premier League so far is just been, you know, it's been interesting. Some results that have been strange. Everton got a draw at City as well. It's just been strange. I think it's just a case of the teams trying to get into the rhythm. Players are fit differently, different level of fitness for players. Players that stayed behind, obviously, they are fit, but they must have maybe lost the match sharpness. Players that played in the World Cup, they are more fitter. Obviously, they're a lot fitter, and yeah, it's just a case of. It's just a case of who could go the distance. Is it like I said, it's a marathon, not sprint. And yeah, it's been really really a strange season, to be honest. And in the cups as well, we still got the Carabao Cup going on as well. That one was at least that was a couple of days before after the World Cup. FA Cup weekend as well, third round. And Tottenham got Portsmouth as well. Everton just lost at the time of recording this. Everton lost to United by 3 goals to 1. And it's just strange. There's going to be loads of games, loads of matches being played. And it's a case of you just trying to get, your first 11, get teams ready as well. Make sure you have your, I don't know, your 15 players from the squad all sharp on feet. And then the general window is opening as well. We'll be doing some videos on that, the transfer hub, where we'll be looking at all the Premier League, all the transfers in the Premier League, rumors and all that kind of stuff. For my team, Tottenham, I don't know who they're gonna get. They're talking about Poro from Sporting Lisbon, right back. I can't remember. I think he played against. Yes, he did play against Tottenham, and I can't remember what how he played. But he's the one Tottenham wants to sign. Sporting Lisbon wants 45 million release clause. Tottenham are trying to negotiate. That's one thing I don't understand sometimes. When you when there's a release clause and you're negotiating, but I think it's only Tottenham that can do that, to be honest. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting, the window. I think Tottenham need a couple of players, maybe one or two players. Centre backs, I'm not sure about the centre backs. I think we're gonna go with what we have now, according to the manager. And it's gonna be strange. It's gonna be strange to see, what happens. In terms of in terms of Tottenham, because earlier in the window, the summer window, when I was signing, I don't know, 6 players before first week in August or first week in July. I think this window is going to be different. I think Tottenham fans are going to be in for the other last minute check-in Sky. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think City, I think they're good the way they are. They've got the squad there. They've got Haaland as well. Arsenal, they need a striker. Jesus is injured. They need to bring someone in. I don't think Nketiah can bridge that gap. Chelsea are struggling as well. They're struggling. Got a new manager there with a different coach as well. They are struggling. Uh, and yeah, he just needs to sign his own players. He needs to get his own players. Then I think it's going to take time. I think that's the problem with fans as well. Fans are not patient. These things take time. It takes time before you get your squad, before you get the players that you want. And it's a gradual process. Managers look at players and they decide, oh, okay, I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to get rid of this one. And it all depends on how they want to play as well. I think you know, Graham Potter is going to get players that he wants, saying players that can play the system he wants. I think he plays with a 5 at the back when it was with Brighton. He's going to try and do the same thing as well. And it's just patience as well for him. Chelsea, Man United are going on a good run now. They're doing well in the FA Cup as well. They're going on the league. They're in fourth and they're playing well. Day two, I think they need a striker. I don't think Marshall or Rashford is going to be the answer if you want to go the long way. Newcastle, I think they're the team of the season, surprise of the season. They're really, really playing well. Beat Tottenham as well, drew with Arsenal, beat Man City at St. James's Park. Dropped some points against Fulham where they played goalless against Fulham. Was it Fulham or Leeds? I think it was Leeds. And they're a good side. They're defending really well. I like the way they defend. They put their body on the line. What's the name of their centre back? Buzz something. I think it was signed from. I can't remember where it was signed from. I think Tottenham were looking at him at some time. I think Tottenham should have gone and signed him. He's a very, very good player. And yeah, it's we're gonna see how it goes. They're gonna sign as well. They got money to spawn. They're gonna go in the winter and sign players as well. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. If you're watching this for the first time, this is Footy Mad podcast. episode I don't know the episode. I think it's episode 5. Done 5 now, and you can just comment, like, share, and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, and it's all about it's all about getting the right signing in, and then going on to win that game of football. It's gonna be tough for most teams, and it's a case of who are you gonna sign, get the right players. Some winter, it's not a good time. January is not good. You will probably get loan players. At the bottom of the table, Southampton, I think those Southampton. Wolves might get out because of Lopetegui is a good coach. Wolves might get out. I think Bournemouth will definitely. Everton are in dire straits right now. Can't win to save their lives. I think Lampard, for just a matter of time before they get rid of him. I think I don't know. I think he's just holding on to the job because I'm not sure. I don't want to say this, but I think it's just because of his name. That's why he's still holding on to the job. But I don't know. I don't know. But I think it's a case of him. He's proved at 2 clubs now that he needs more experience for me. I think he should have stayed at the lower club and build his experience for a couple of years before stepping into the big time. But I don't know. What do I know? So yeah, that's still looking at the Premier League. Um, so we're waiting for that to go back. The FA Cup is over this weekend. And yeah, just let's just have a look at the what do you call it, at the FA Cup fixtures for this weekend. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. 6 Yard Box. This is the Footy Mad podcast, and this is uh this is the preview. We're gonna be looking at the FA Cup preview in this one. Make sure you comment, like, share all the good stuff. That's what's up. That's what we do. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel as well. So let's see the FA Cup third round results. Manchester United beating Everton. Everton 1-1. Manchester, I think, just about we're lucky to get that one over the line, and I think Everton played really well as well. We got Preston versus Huddersfield. That's tomorrow, 12:30. We got a couple of 12:30 kickoffs. We got Reading, Watford. That's 12:30 as well. Tottenham, Portsmouth. That's 12:30 as well. We have Gillingham, Leicester City. That's 12:30 as well. You have Forest, Green, and Birmingham. That's also 12:30. I think Reading, Watford. I'm going Preston, Huddersfield. I don't know this team, to be honest, but I'm going to go for Preston in that one. Reading, Watford. I'll go for Watford. Tottenham, Portsmouth. I think Tottenham should win that with a second string team. Gillingham, Leicester. Leicester will win that, but we're going to see some upset. I think there's going to be upset tomorrow. Gillingham, Leicester might be a one. Forest, Green, Birmingham. I think Birmingham will win that. Tomorrow as well, Crystal Palace, Southampton, 12:30 kickoff. I think that's going to be Crystal Palace at home. Hull City, Fulham. I think that's going to be a very good game as well. I can see Fulham winning that. Middlesbrough, Brighton. I think Brighton will win that. Fleetwood, QPR should win that. Ipswich, Rotherham. Rotherham. I don't know. Ipswich. I don't know. I don't know the strengths of the two teams. There's a lot of fixtures. Bournemouth, Burnley as well. Blackburn, Nottingham Forest. Forest should win that one. Chesterfield, West Brom. West Brom should win that. Millwall, Sheffield United. I don't know. That one might be tight. Bournemouth, Crinton Stanley. That might be. I don't know. I think that might be Stanley. It's gonna be there's gonna be upsets tomorrow, that's for sure. FA Cup is always third round. FA Cup, there's always upsets. Shrewsbury, Sunderland as well. You got Brentford, West Ham. That's a good one tomorrow, 5:30. Tomorrow, I think Brentford are in such a good form now. I think they'll beat West Ham. West Ham are going through some problems getting wins. Coventry, Wrexham as well. Luton, Wigan. There's a lot of games all the way to Monday. You have Grimsby, Town, Bolton, Luton, Wigan, Athletics, Sheffield Wednesday, Newcastle. That could be an upset as well because Newcastle might be resting players. Liverpool, Watford. That's the dinner time kickoff. That's Liverpool tomorrow. We have Derby County, Barnsley, Bristol City, Swansea, Cardiff City, Leeds United, Stockport, Watford, Walsall, sorry, Hartlepool, Stoke City, Norwich City, Blackburn Rovers, Aston Villa, Stevenage, and you have Man City and Chelsea. That's another FA Cup big one. That's going to be on Sunday, and there's a repeat of the midweek fixture in the Premier League. But Chelsea lost at home to City. Then you have Oxford and Arsenal on the Monday. So those are the rundown of the FA Cup games over the weekend. This is the Footy Man podcast. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, follow, like, share, all that kind of good stuff. And I think we've covered everything in this episode of the podcast. I'm gonna be trying to bring people in on this podcast that we could talk about stuff, just have a general discussion about football, the game we love so much. And watch out for all our content. The channel is gonna get better. We're getting better, inshallah. Gonna get better with more content as well. Sunday back page is gonna be back. Hopefully, it should be back next week. Hopefully, hopefully should be back next week. Anytime we can do that, it's always very, very interesting to do. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. This is the podcast, Footy Mad podcast episode. I think it's episode 5 or 4. I think it's 5 now. But you see it. You see the episode in the thumbnail. So yeah, thank you very much. I think that's it. I think I've covered everything that we needed to talk about in terms of the world of football. We look forward to the next one. Hopefully in 2 weeks. This podcast is every 2 weeks, so we can cram a lot of stuff into it. And we look forward to that one. Make sure you check out our transfer shows. We've got transfer hub as well coming up very soon. I want to be doing a special edition transfer hub for the Tottenham. I want to do one for Tottenham to see who Tottenham can sign in this window. And then we shall be, we're looking forward to transfer deadline day as well. We all love the last day of the transfer window. So yeah, it's been good to be back. It's been good to be back. Really happy to be back doing this doing the podcast. So this is the Footy Mad podcast. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you stay safe. God bless, and I'll see you next time.